2. Hello and welcome again to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, Zach Pearson, and today I'm joined by Michael Dat Hill.
Oh, in a special area and I can't join the phone.
Pika Dat Mitsu.
You know, if I ever made it onto an episode of Monday Night Raw, which is live by the way, and I was there with my father, and we were having a little promo/argument with a superstar, the first words to come out of my mouth would not be, and I quote, "Beat that nigga's ass."
Okay, sounds like there's a story behind that. But we're not here to promote or I guess scandalize wrestling right now at least. Wow. Alright, today's topics are Korean formatted MMO talk, the SNES Mini because that's what everybody and their mama's going to be talking about, Nintendo crossover potential, and our final topic, MVC aka Marvel vs. Capcom bullshit of the highest order. And no, it's not just about Chun-Li's face and all that shit. Alright, so first things first. Well, these don't look like the full topics, but Korean formatted MMOs, possible future of gaming, quote unquote. By this I mean, I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but show of hands that I can't actually see. Who all knew that in South Korea, MMOs were the king of gaming?
Yeah, that's pretty much the given nowadays.
No, not nowadays. I'm talking about for almost 25 fucking years. That being said, Korean MMO players, at least the ones who are professional grade, are almost considered at the same status level of high-end celebrities such as movie stars and whatnot. Many of them have even dated some from time to time. Basically, their formatting to how they do video gaming or interactive digital media is completely different from our approach, which is basically playing not even second fiddle. We're like fourth or fifth fiddle. We're the fiddle guy's redheaded step cousin. That's what the fuck we are, really. Oh, man. So, yeah. Okay, at least he's here now. The way it's formatted is that they usually don't just do grandiose quote-unquote World of Warcraft-like things. What they also have a tendency to do is take games or genres in a short burst and have one hub area and then one mission, or one hub area and a bunch of quests that characters can go to or go through. And it's profitable. No matter how old the genre is or what style of game, 2D, 3D, what have you, there it turns a profit. Internet cafes as a whole in that country are grossing over $200 million a year. A year. Frightening, isn't it? We can barely even get an internet cafe that allows you to play video games in this country, and they're grossing $200 million. Not jealous, just shocking. Now, that being said, when it comes to the American version of MMOs or games that have MMO aspects, we have a tendency to piecemeal or go extremely ham even if we can't guarantee a player base. Two big examples, World of Warcraft, as I stated, and of course, almost all of the every Mass Effect game starting at 3. So basically Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda. They have an online cooperative mode, which is massive multiplayer, where they have about, I want to say, 4 character limit or 3 character limit that go online and they fight some type of enemy in some type of mode, in some way, shape, or form. And most of the money made is through microtransactions via gambling for new characters or new weapons. Now, I'm told it's a bit different in Andromeda, but it's pretty much the same thing. Those are our two formats. And of course, them in and of itself, MMOs do generate a lot of money. Case in point, if memory serves, last fiscal year, Destiny 2 generated $4 billion in revenue. Their revenue was about the same or a little bit above that of the fucking PlayStation Network store as a whole. They sold as much and a little bit more than the PlayStation Network store as a whole. So, and as we all know, these big corporations love the almighty dollar. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that. You're a corporation. You provide jobs. You have to pay people. You have to make money. But they also love it a little bit too much. So with that being said, and since there's a bit of a mobile craze, because again, big companies like money and as little effort as possible, do you foresee or do you think that the future of traditional console gaming is going to be heavily linked to the MMO world? Why or why not? And we're going to start with you, Pika.
Okay. I do think that the mobile gaming market for them is going to continue to grow. Main reason is because outside of their MMO gaming and marketing their specific kind of food around the world, they ain't really good at much else. So they have to do something to keep themselves going and keep themselves popular, and if they're using their little bodies to do the fast little reflexes and do the multiple calculations, then so you do you, and you keep doing you, keep giving us something to possibly stomp the crap out of when we actually do decide to say, hey, they're getting a little bit too good, we're gonna get serious now. And then proceed to stomp you because America, fuck you.
I keep telling myself I'm gonna get used to your answers, and then you just throw me a fucking curveball from another dimension. Because America, fuck yeah. Just the way you said it, even. Alright. What about you, Hill?
Could you rephrase the question? It was slightly.
Okay. Do you think that America or video game companies in general, corporation owners, are going to start giving less of a shit about video games in their current formats and shift to an MMO format as a whole or as a group majority because they see places like South Korea pissing money off of MMOs? Why or why not?
I didn't see it happening. It's probably going to take us a lot because first we got to go through the trial areas. Like, all right, even though that fuck tons, can we make one?
Hill, hold on a second. You fading in and out. Hold on. Doing some quick technical repairs. Okay, say your answer again.
Alright. What's the future? I say it all depends how they feel testing is gonna go. Because I feel like we're gonna end up just having more MMOs and break this cycle of the standalone games with stories. Even with, because I feel like first it's gonna start with Destiny 2 that is coming on the rise. As you said, the revenue for Destiny just blew out PlayStation's whole entire market. And we're gonna get even we have I can't think of what game was kind of shown at E3. Or it's like Destiny, but it isn't.
Anthem.
Yes, since we're also getting Anthem, so we're already slowly building this process, and we're gonna see how these games play out, and it's just gonna keep expanding to where everyone is gonna have their own form of either MMO or online type of game. Just add more to their games. Online Mario levels or better online fighting games.
Technically, Mario Go is an online Mario. So there's some truth to that at least. Alright, well, as far as me, I feel like, and this is where we get into my cliche undecided or middle of the road answer, but I feel like I can't tell which way it's going to go, but I do think that certain greedy ass companies are going to go that route, but not all of them. Like for instance, and here comes everyone's favorite butt to fuck, EA, Electronic Arts. Now, you know damn well that's exactly what the fuck they trying to do. Anytime they think there's something that can net them a fuck ton of money as fast as possible, with as little effort and work as possible, or rushing the shit out and making you pay for the rest of it later, even though it should have been included, they're gonna fucking do it. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that EA is not gonna try to make some massive mobile game that they're gonna spend like pennies on and then get back a couple $100 million. And then there's Star Wars Battlefront 3, the hot ass abomination that all of you seem to tell me was garbage. And I take your word on it, because one, it was EA. Two, I also think, why the fuck did you buy it? You knew who made it. But it's serious. I don't understand that logic. But at the same time, I think that there are a lot of companies who can't afford to take the risk, or even if they can, they don't want to, because somebody in upper management might lose their job. You know.
Hey, Zax.
What's up?
Just a moment. As far as why you don't understand, like, why people would buy that hot garbage, even though they're anticipating it's going to be hot garbage, you're underestimating the fanboyness, I'm going to call it here, of Star Wars fanboys. The company itself could make a licensed Jar Jar Binks dildo, and everyone would buy it. It's just that bad.
You know what? You're absolutely fucking right. You are absolutely fucking right. That is a disturbing analogy, but you're absolutely fucking right.
Right, continue.
Nah, that was pretty much it. I feel like, you know, companies that do nothing but try to shamelessly whore out their titles and whatnot for DLC, which isn't even close to properly produced or produced like The Witcher is. Oh God, The Witcher. Are gonna do it. And then companies that want to do it, they're gonna stick with trying to shit out mobile games, because they know there's a higher chance of success, even though the market is fucking flooded and it's hard to stand out unless you got a commercial. So it's just like that. I think it's gonna go both ways. Some will, some won't. My traditional cliche middle of the road answers. Oh, he came back. Hey, can you hear us? Holland. Okay, well, if memory serves, you said you can't talk right now, so that's fine. Just whenever you can talk, let us know, or take your cell phone and put it on, you know, push to talk, and we'll go from there. But for the time being, we'll just treat you like a second spectator, because we got a few spectators in here anyway. Alright, on to topic 2. The one everyone won't shut up about. The Super Nintendo Mini announcement. Will it sell out again in America? Well, we all know the answer to that. But the better question is, how can sellers of this item, including Nintendo, fend off scalpers? Or is it impossible to fight them, much like the board? Why or why not? Which side you on? And we're going to start with you this time, Pika.
Okay. Let's just make something really clear right out of the gate. These days, if something gets popular, people will buy as many of them as they can, and if they know it has a high resale rate, they will resell it for a high amount of money, possibly higher than what they bought it from. Now, that being said, the NES Mini, NES Classic, however, whatever you call it, it was extremely popular.
Yeah.
Extremely popular.
Very much so.
Now, I did not specifically look into this detail. I don't know if anyone will know this. Have they offered any kind of information as far as to the release of the SNES Mini that they did not release as far as when the NES Mini came out? Like anything additional, like any more like specific details on it?
You can't. Hey, hold on a second. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, but yes.
Okay.
SNES
Well,
Mini, like,
I want to ask you some questions about the SNES Mini, but there's someone talking to me right now. Continue, by the way. but there's someone
Okay.
talking to me about now right
So,
now.
one of the things like
I'm assuming you're not busy.
it would be very interesting because when the NES Mini came
I'm
out,
assuming you're not busy.
they didn't really like give any kind of extra support or like try to put an effort into making like peripherals that came with it, like like a redone like light gun or something else like that. And the SNES had a few peripherals that came along with it, specifically the Super Scope
about the mini SNES
and the mouse for the Mario Paint and whatnot. So if they were somehow able to like bring back the Super Scope games, maybe even make a brand new game that was compatible with the Super Scopes, and then bring out a new Super Scope to use and make it compatible with these newer NTVs, that would make it sell even better, and they can make a whole lot more money. But that's just me.
Interesting.
Well,
Okay, Hill, you go ahead. Okay.
alright, now.
Well,
I don't
that's
see
not a bad
anything.
thing. I was just thinking, like you said,
Scalping.
office, like
This has been shown
Alex listed
even
them in two
before
places.
when they barely announced the
wherever the Beach
Evo
Street address is.
for Smash Bros. And people just decided, I'm gonna buy a
You've
ball.
seen the release, window, the
fucking
expected
reason.
window. So if it doesn't come by the 5th,
So I don't see his plan for stopping
that's
because
when
once people find out, oh, you're
shaking heads.
paying for a product here, you're taking it in bundles.
As far as the mini
Make money.
SNES, it's a bit of a weird
Completely
question.
ignore the fact
I know you don't necessarily
that
have the
they're
answer,
just gonna
but
resell it.
we're
Maybe
kind
not
of
Nintendo
curious
specifically,
from a
but from
consumer
the retailers they're
standpoint.
buying from. Once
You're not
they
a
see that,
retailer, so
oh, you're
I might
about
as
to
well
buy
ask
a
you.
shit ton. We got you, fam.
Do you
And they
think
just
there's a
won't
way to
care
fend
about
off
anybody else
scalpers
trying to
or
pick up this
scalpers?
product?
But
While
before you answer that,
for the
I need to make them shut up.
sell out,
So
I hope
give
they
me a
learned
second.
their lesson from last time and actual think to say, oh, people actually like our product, so we're gonna have it in abundance this time instead of just saying we weren't meant to sell this many, whatever excuse they used last time.
Yeah, that was pretty
To
much
have
what they
a
said.
sold out.
Yeah, that was pretty much what they said. Their excuse is that we didn't expect to sell this many. And to be fair, I don't think anybody actually did. But once they saw the demand, they still decided, yeah, fuck it, we've made enough, which was kind of bullshit. But that being said, I do have a temporary person who wants to try to answer the question. So, Hill, you put a pin in your answer, nothing personal, but I'm going to ask her real quick. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, let's say you're Nintendo. You know that the mini Super Nintendo is going to sell gangbang busters. And you know damn well that, much like your amiibos, scalpers gonna get all up in that ass. Now,
Oh yeah, I know.
how do you think, or do you think there's a way for Nintendo, or really anybody in this case, to fend off mini Super Nintendo scalpers?
Not have only like 500 available at one time.
Ha! Damn.
Well, it's their fault. That basically it's about how much you're making and the demand of it. If you have 100 and you have 200 people that want the thing, that's what's going to happen. Because the scalpers are going to go and buy 15 of them at GameStop and then sell 14 of them at a ridiculous price. So either they need to consistently be making the product to the point where it is available to people, or maybe limit how many can be bought per person. And even then, that's not even a guarantee, because some guy could buy 2 at GameStop down the street and then buy another 2 at GameStop in the mall and still be a fucking scalper.
And there is some truth to that, because Nintendo claims that they try to regulate it, but the problem is their regulation is Japan-centric and personal store-centric, i.e. literally Japan and the Nintendo store in New York are the only places where they have true regulation. And as we both know, that's not the goddamn internet. So their current bullshit excuse is what they do is they say, okay, we've detected this credit card, or this credit card is tied to an address that has already purchased one of these items or 2 of these items at the store. So Have a nice day. Fuck off. Come back in 6 to 7 months. But this is the internet age. The distributors even get in on the bullshit. I'm not gonna, say directly that a certain company with a red and white logo that likes to sell video games fucks up the market for anything that they know is going to be an addictive seller, like, the Switch, for instance. But if those retailers go to the distributors, and here's something that people keep forgetting, or I keep out telling people because they think I'm bullshitting, Nintendo, much like a lot of other big companies, don't actually sell their products to the stores. The distributors do. The distributors have so much power, they even determine how much a video game is sold for. So if I'm a company who has a red and white logo, hypothetically, goes up to the distributor and say, hey, look, I'm about to go on my wallet. I'm about to pull some green shit out of my wallet. How much of this do I got to give you to fuck over everybody else and immediately put them on back order, even though they bought shipments before we even knew this was going to be a thing? And then somebody just says, well, here's what you do. Take all that green shit in your wallet and you stuff it directly up my ass. Who gets fucked in the long run, really? Everybody below those said people. It's a domino effect of bullshit. So if the distributor fucks all the retailers except for a few key people, then everybody is not going to go to that other retailer that fucked them. What's going to happen is that other retailer is going to be stupid, try to sell them online and not realize, hey, dumbass, you just made the scalping price worse. And because of that, we are where we are. But speaking on the mini SNES, just for example, we are going to get the mini SNES in the token store. But here's the problem we already know is going to happen. American pre-orders haven't been open just because Nintendo is scratching their fucking dicks off trying to figure out how to stop or prevent potential scalpers outside of, the Nintendo World Store. So they actually didn't even open them up. But the rumors of the shit selling out everywhere in minutes is true because the entire country, or I guess unionship of Europe, is completely sold out in minutes because Nintendo decided they wanted to be fucking stupid. So
they're not fucking stupid. They do it on purpose.
I can't say for sure that they do or don't.
But look, if you're telling me it's an accident, you've been doing it since the fucking Wii. So no, it's not a fucking accident. I had to wait in line fucking 3 o'clock in the morning outside Best Buy, hoping I was one of the first 100 people that stood in fucking line, and wait until goddamn 6 o'clock in the morning. In the middle of the snow, in New Jersey. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Damn. Well, I can't argue. I can't argue with that on some level, but from just damn, he said facts. But just from a business standpoint, I can understand some of it because Nintendo, like every other international company, is a Japanese company. So even though we think that doesn't mean much because they can hire people to go and do all of their distribution or handle their networking infrastructure for different countries, that's just it. Those people are the one handling it. So if Joe Schmo, who only does distribution and product movement, doesn't give a fuck about video games and just works at Nintendo because he can get better benefits or a higher paycheck, decides, this shit don't matter, that makes Nintendo look bad. That being said, I can't sit up here and say you fucking wrong because, well, I've bought Nintendo products before. It's like literally ever since the GameCube, everything after the GameCube, they don't know what the fuck they doing. They knew when they make the handheld systems, even when they had no fucking competition, they need to make a metric fuck ton continuously because people are going to buy this continually. They didn't sell 170 or 180 million Game Boy Colors because they didn't understand supply and demand. But then you get to this shit right here from the Wii and upwards. They keep putting in something unique that makes them have to slow down production. But the problem with that is that you make it easier for people to A, get pissed at you, B, give their money to somebody else, or C, cause some bullshit. The Wii's problem was that they had two particular parts that didn't come naturally found. So it was being constructed specifically for them. And it doesn't matter how many of everything else in the system they make, if they got to go back and they have to make damn sure that this one part is in every single system. And in the case of the Wii U, which, yes, it did fail, but even then it had a shortage temporarily. They had problems fucking making new game pads to the point where they basically said, you know, we're only going to release it in one country, which was fucking stupid. And then we get to the Switch, and that one is just a bit dumb because it's already an easily found part. But the problem is they ran into other billion-dollar companies. There's a parts war going on for those little mini SD card type shits because Apple and two other companies that Nintendo also use are supposed to be supplying them. But the problem is, much like with the Switch stock, some company, which I can't name, whose logo vaguely reminds me of a fruit, decided that, you know what, fuck you. We don't want to go to other places to get these mini. We just want to pay to get you pushed out. So they have two choices: to sell a Switch with no internal storage, which means that your USB port is going to be used up, which you know is not really going to fucking happen because the USB port is where people put in the Ethernet adapters, or sit on your thumbs and fucking wait. And if you're a billion-dollar company, what you going to do at that point? You're going to look like an asshole, but you don't have many options, do you? That being said, I'm not making an excuse for them. It is what it is, hypothetically. And as far as my opinion on the SNES, well, I indirectly gave it just now, but my whole thing with the SNES is just that I hate everything about it on both sides. I hate that every single fucking game on there can be put on a virtual console, and then the minute a new system comes out, you gotta go and fucking buy it again even though you got it on this other virtual console. That pisses me off.
I was explaining that to my friend this morning, too.
Has anyone noticed they're the only motherfuckers that do that too? They're the only motherfuckers that do that. Oh, hey, we heard you like Devil May Cry. Oh, that's nice. Tell you what, why don't you go buy this HD collection? Or you can get it online. You know what? Hey, let's make another HD collection, but this one's for the PS4. There's no difference other than it can work with your PS4, but you know what? Why don't you just go give us an extra nut sack while you at it? Anyways. And then also, just as a fucking seller, it gets on my nerves when I get a fuck ton, and I do mean a fuck ton, of requests for shit. Tell people we don't even have a release date for it. But because they heard from somebody on YouTube, I'm looking at you, the know, because you fuck up a lot of information and you only tell half stories. They decide I'm lying or you're a con artist and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, we have a 98 to 100% Amazon seller rating, and we've been doing this shit for over a year. Obviously, we're not full of shit. But no, I have to sit here and have somebody tell me how they're going to slit my goddamn mother's throat because I can't find a product that isn't even legally allowed to be sold in this country directly through us yet.
So stupid.
And that's not even a joke either. Somebody fucking did do that. Actually, about 4. Yeah, like 4 people. I get stupid emails all the time. Yeah. Now this one, okay. Hey, Hill, did I tell you about the licking insurance or the food insurance people were asking me about on the Switch?
What?
What?
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, well, y'all two haven't formally met, but y'all have been around each other for quite some time because y'all both purchased almost identically the same shit from us. But okay, so when I was answering emails and requests for the Switch for you, Catherine, and you, Hill, I got about 5 other people who already had a Switch, but they wanted to get more stock, right? So they asked me, did we offer any food or licking insurance for the cartridges? And I was just like,
Fucking stupid.
and I don't know how to address this because when I get a stupid email or what I consider a joke email, it's a little bit obvious in the way they talk. But this person sounded fucking serious. Now I can't say their name or email because of, well, legal. But I texted them back and said, excuse me, sir, do you mean damage or cosmetic defect insurance or warranty crap? And they was like, no, I mean, like, you know, in case I lick it a few too many times one day or some of my boys get in on the dare and I put it in and it doesn't work no more. Like, you guys got any insurance for... So I was like, sir, why would you be trying to ingest this? These things are not meant to be ingested. Because I'm thinking at this point in time, I'm talking to a small child and I might be saving his life right now. I was talking to a 37-year-old man, but we're going to get into this later. Okay.
Dude, did you ever see I think it was College Humor. I think it was College Humor, but it was like, don't eat the laundry pods. And it's just this guy sitting there looking at a bowl of laundry pods and like, should I eat them? Should I not eat them? No, I shouldn't eat them. But what if they're blueberry flavored? Just look that shit up. That sounds exactly what you're fucking describing. It's so stupid.
I'm just saying, if you're thinking about eating shit that smells good, but it's bad for you and you know it, you're usually under the age of 2, but I could be wrong, and I was in this case. Okay, so apparently, to make sure they baby-proofed the cartridges, Nintendo put a chemical coating that is legally the strongest level of sour and bitterness allowed on the plastic, so these things don't get eaten by small
that's what I heard.
by small humans and small pets. Here's the problem with this. It became an internet challenge. And you know how internet
I know.
and you know how internet challenges go. It's never just one internet challenge. It's always one person, and then it spreads like wildfire on fucking YouTube. Because everybody and their mom who grew up watching Jackass decide that's a smart idea. So, this guy had been going and having contests in his college dorm, daring new members and pledgelings to keep this shit in your mouth or lick this stuff for as long as possible and whatnot. But he also had a small electrical or technical type background, so he knew certain types of moisture or chemicals could fuck with the chip's ability to be red, and he still wanted to play the games that he would be having people lick. So I told him, no, we don't
have people lick them.
So I told him, no, we don't offer that type of insurance. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, I will never get an email more fucked up than this ever in my career.
Debatable.
You're not helping.
Just saying.
So yes, this is the world we live in. This is the fucking world we live in. So I just wanted to have you come in for that question, but if you wanted to stay for the rest of it, that's perfectly fine with me. I said, I just wanted you to come in for that one question because I knew you had a story about waiting to get the fucking shit in line. But if you wanted to stay for the rest of this, that's fine with me. I don't really care.
Well, I mean, like, what's the deal, though? Like, what do I get to do?
Nothing. I'm doing my annual podcast, and I said, hey, I think I remember somebody having a story about waiting outside for Nintendo products and them not even owning up to their shortages. Let me go find that person and also ask them about the SNES Mini, and you picked up the phone. And that was pretty much it. I mean, if you want to get on Discord, since you actually have microphone equipment, or you want to get it on your cell phone, that's fine too.
No, I'm good. I was, like, hoping that you had info on the...
I do, but I can't say it on a recording.
Okay, fair. Can I, like, you said the pre-orders are all filled up?
The pre-orders for America have not started.
Okay.
But you know what's going to happen when they do. You already know what's going to happen when they do.
Start. Let me know, like, immediately, because I will give you my money.
Okay, hold on a second. Hey, Black Catherine Hill,
What up?
you want a mini Super Nintendo too, right?
Hey, you know me.
Yes, I know both of you so well that it's actually kind of disturbing how much y'all act alike. All right. Well, as I stated earlier, the pre-orders for America ain't happened yet. But generally speaking, there's usually a 7-week delay before the FCC approves anything for them to even announce a release date. So I have a pretty good idea on the exact date when they're going to go up. And I'm not going to say them out loud in a recording. But I'll see what I can do. But I will tell you this right now. The YouTube specifically have the option if you want. Since we can't guarantee that we won't get fucked as a distributor by a company who shan't be named because they're some bitches. We technically can also buy them from scalpers. So if y'all can't find one, which you won't be able to at the normal $80 price, we can probably sell them to you, unfortunately, at an inflated price with minimum profit on our end, still with rush delivery, should you decide you want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, Catherine and I will contact you after this podcast and I'll contact you after this podcast.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I remember she had a really fucked up story about waiting on Nintendo products, and I was like, let me go see if she still wants to talk about it, because she was hella pissed about it. I think even after she waited, she couldn't actually even get the system, so she had to get a fucking voucher and just get some accessories. That was fucked up. All right. Moving on to our third, more positive / hilarious topic. Also, fucking Holland. If you free to type and you can hear us, you might as well speak since it'll be faster. That being said, Nintendo crossovers. Mario has now come to the world of raving rabbits, or is it vice versa? Do you guys think it's a one-off or opens the door to more franchise mixing? Who do you want to see mixed with Nintendo? And because he's a Nintendo in his blood, go ahead and answer that question, Hill.
Do I see more crossovers? I would see more crossovers maybe with more Rabbids games into Nintendo franchises, because I don't see them branching off into their more serious titles, because they joke, I was like, they're just gonna have like Assassin's Creed and Donkey Kong. I really don't see that happening, but I do see more of whenever the obvious Mario Kart 47 or Mario Party 12 come out, we can see Rabbids. They're not gonna stop making these games. So I see the Rabbids more so in party games. Now for larger Mario games, maybe an interesting Fire Emblem, because now they're doing turn-based type deal for Mario instead of just having a free whatever, however you want to.
Yeah, they did say that they feel like they reached the pinnacle, quote unquote, of what they can do with handheld Fire Emblem. So it'll be interesting to see what comes next.
Now I'll just wait to see how they decide to handle, say, crossovers for their future. Hopefully it's worth, and hopefully I can get a crossover with Kirby and Mario that would not have anything to do with Smash Bros.
That would be one of the more interesting ones. Okay. Well, what about you, Pika? I know you don't necessarily fuck with Nintendo like you used to, but I'm pretty sure you have a disturbing crossover in your head, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to regret saying that. Oh shit, did he tap out? Hey, Pika, can you hear us? Hello? Hill, do you hear anything?
Nope.
Well, it looks like he's changing his microphone from on to off, but I can't hear him. I'm gonna give him a few seconds. He might be having some technical difficulties. If you can't say anything in 8 seconds, I'm assuming you're having technical difficulties, and I'm gonna answer the question while you try to fix your shit. And it looks like he's trying to fix his shit. Alright, so yeah, let me answer that. I want to see a real Fire Emblem fucking crossover. And I do think this is the beginning of more shit. But I don't think, I think Nintendo will be more in a supervisor role than just a direct, no, you can't do that. We say you can't do that. It'll be more of a give and take type of thing. I want to see a fucking Fire Emblem crossover with XCOM. Because first off, XCOM is already starting to borrow from Fire Emblem. Their new expansion pack, which is not really DLC, it's a PC style expansion pack, which means it's basically a continuation on the game or modification of the game. But fucking, they have it in XCOM 2, and this new shit is coming out in August, that your characters can get to know each other and become friends and bond, and even have special interactions or combat actions. Sound familiar? With someone, if they're paired up with them, again, sound familiar, in the midst of battle. As well as new classes. One of which is actually called the Hero, which is also...
Hello?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Which is
Okay.
also in Fire Emblem. But if they can't do something like that, or if they want to do something that's a bit more, dramatic. They already got the middle ground of the Dynasty Warrior style game with the Dynasty Warriors Fire Emblem coming out near the end of the summer. I want to see them do a Fire Emblem game that still plays like a strategy game, but once you select to fight somebody, it goes into more the Dynasty Warrior style, of course with the enemy being smarter, since it'll be a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2 at best, or Devil May Cry style action. Imagine you load up into a world map, you're on a giant plain or field of grass, and your ranger or your sniper type character gets into a fight with the swordsman. So now you're the swordsman, and all you got to do is keep dodging, and luckily, hopefully, you can get to the bow user and fight him that way. But of course, the bow user has a few moves that can cause knockback, making his arrows easier to get to their maximum damage output. Or the one person that turned into a dragon, you know, you're using the fucking swordsman on, and now the swordsman has to dodge or guard against your fire and whatnot and try to get to you in a three-dimensional setting. But when you're in the world map, make it look 2D or make the characters look really, really plain, boring 3D. Like, there's so many fucking ways you can mess with the strategy game formula, and it's so rarely messed with. There's potential Fire Emblem to do something crazy and unique. And I'm not counting that fucking Shin Megami Sharp Fire Emblem, whatever that garbage was. I fucking do not like that game. It is the closest I've seen to Nintendo flat out allowing somebody to just pander with their property. And even though the game is considered high quality, and I'm not saying it's of a terrible quality, it just disgusts me on a personal level to see something that lazy being made. And I'm not going to sit up here and bore you with a bunch of details on it, because I could talk about shit I didn't like with that game for a very long period of time. But other than that, I think the next crossover I would like to see is, I don't know how you would consider the Smash Brothers universe, but I would like to see a Smash Brothers style crossover or Smash Brothers implementation into Fire Emblem also. Like, make a Fire Emblem only Smash Brothers style game with only Fire Emblem characters, or make it so it's Subspace Emissary style, like an adventure mode type game with Fire Emblem characters. I would fucking love that shit. Alright, now let's try this again. Pika, what would you like?
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, alright, now, as I was saying before, Mario has basically crossed over with damn near everybody under the sun in the Nintendo universe, and also has crossed over with freaking Sega characters, i.e. Sonic. So, who's Mario, gonna dominate next? I say send him into the Namco universe.
Oh shit.
Not just Pac-Man, no. Let's have him diddle around with the Dead or Alive girls. Let's give Peach something to be jealous about.
Oh my.
Let's
You realize
get
Peach isn't his actual fucking girlfriend, right?
To most people, she is.
You say
And
that, but his actual girlfriend's in the new game, and for some reason she's taller than him.
Mm-hmm. But still, give them all something to be jealous about. Give them some real women. Give them some big old boobies in the face with all those kinds of dresses.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
I feel wrong for that one, but so right.
But yeah, a lot more Namco characters would be interesting. Even like a kind of mystery thing with like Shenmue. That would be interesting as well. Because God knows Mario could do better than Mario's missing.
I try to forget that game as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you learn the geography, guys.
Alright, so, well, I guess that was more positive than our previous topic. Alright, so moving on to part number 4. Gray market. Wait, you can add reactions? Holy shit, I did not know that. Sorry. I'm new to Discord in case y'all couldn't tell. Gray market sales. How can game makers fend off other companies selling their material in an inappropriate way? Or is there nothing they can do? And this isn't just for PC people, I mean in general when it comes to video games. We're going to start with you, Pika.
Okay. Inappropriate selling of things. I believe I touched on this kind of general thing in a topic that we had a while back.
Yeah, it was a while back, but I barely remember it, so go ahead.
Okay, so basically saying this. You cannot stop people from selling your shit. If someone buys your thing and they want to sell it as far as like doing something inappropriate to it or
okay,
unlawful,
wait hold on a second. Not to interrupt you, but do you understand the definition of gray market?
Gray, that's like the black market, but a little bit more legal.
Well, you're not wrong, but okay, so short end of it is, gray market is when a product is sold in a format or manner that the person who created the product does not intend. That's it.
Well, there's only so many ways that something, whether it be a console, an accessory, what have you, can be sold.
Mm-hmm.
Can be sold through stores.
Mm-hmm.
Can be like in-person stores. Can be sold through online stores. Can be sold secondhand through pawn shops, or if it's really old, through like video game rental places. Or if someone wants to create like a black market for it, they could trade it for other desirable services. But with that being said, there's no way that companies can specifically track every last transaction of whatever they want to track, because unless it's all done online, which I'll bet you my left and right nut that's not going to be the case, they're not going to be able to do it. Like, they just can't. There's no way. They just have to let it be. Just be happy that their shit is getting sold in the first place. And just leave it be. You want to stop people from buying your stuff in undesirable means. Either make more of your stuff or make your stuff a little bit cheaper. You might lose a little bit, but you'll make more in the long run if your stuff is really that good.
Mm-hmm. That's... I mean, shit, you pretty much summed it up right there. I don't even think I could give a better answer. All right, here, what about you?
I don't really see people selling their shit because we have from basis of these shitty ass phone games that just straight rip off of the original idea of how these people made their game. I couldn't tell you how many times I found one of those shitty ass do nothing free to play win games where it have just a bunch of random anime characters just have a completely different title for it.
Tell you what, did you just blink? Yeah, I know another one just got made.
All the things like also just having people just resell their products in general is just hard to stop because you gotta specifically figure out when, where, and how they're gonna do it in order to stop these crazes. So I don't see it stopping until we have better systems to identify pirated games. Like apparently when your game is found out, or for Earthbound, whenever they found out your game was pirated, you just have a fuck ton of spawn enemies, and then when you get to Porky towards the end of the game will just freeze on you. We need more systems that say, okay, you got this game in a legal way, so you will be punished for it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to fully stop a left-sided disease too. Alright, you got what you came here for. It's not going to work how you want it to. That to me, that is the best course of action. Because trying to stop it all together is not going to happen.
Well, we step right directly back into the whole dark/sad territory, but it comes with the topic. All right, as far as my opinion on the matter, I'm gonna just be blunt as possible. You can stop it, but the lengths you would have to go through are so immense that no company would pay that fucking money. They just fucking wouldn't. And even then, it's only certain types of products, not every product ever. As far as a video game goes, the only way to stop your product from being sold in a format that you don't like is if it is a live stream game, meaning it's an MMO, because there's nothing to sell. If they try to hack to play the game offline, there's nothing for them to do offline because it's an MMO. So they'll just load a character who can't do anything. That's it. That's the only way. So that means everything else up for fucking grabs, modifications, steals, hacks, and everything else you can think of. And it sucks. It really does. So there is genuinely nothing you can do. You can sue people under the sun, but then they'll just hide and get better at hiding and doing shit behind your back. Or you can just accept that it will happen. And if you see a company doing it in the open, which would be gray market, because if it's behind closed doors, it's black market. You go and hit them with a fee or make it known in your terms of service. Anyone who sells this game license or sells this game, you know, if you sell it out of the way I intended, you're going to pay a hefty fine. But that means they still sold it. That's just how it is. And I really do hate that. I really, really do hate that there's no better answer I can fucking give. But I don't think there's a better answer anybody can fucking give. So, oh yeah, or you do what Microsoft tried to do with the Xbone. Always online, so you'll always be able to control shit. Yeah. Let me know how that works out for you. Alright, and our final topic. The one me and Pika have been waiting to just grind our fucking fist into. Quadruple penetration style. A representative / PR person from Capcom stated recently in an interview with Geek.com that he doesn't feel like the modern Marvel fan even remembers who the fucking X-Men are when asked, are you going to value or fucking try to get X-Men or rather mutant characters in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity? Pika, I'm gonna bite my tongue long enough to let you go first about this motherfucker.
Okay, so he says modern fan. Now, he doesn't say how far back the modern fan should go as far as recognizing X-Men characters, because in the popular media recently we've had the Wolverine movies. Take it a couple steps back, we had the Wolverine movie with Chad Sabretooth and a few others. We take it a step back from there, we had the X-Men series of movies, whether it be First Class or the first original 3. Before that, we've had the animated cartoons of X-Men. Now, combining all of that, that spans about a good 20 years or so. So pretty much anyone within that age, anyone born around 95-ish, 94, 95-ish, should pretty much have a good gist on who the main X-Men characters are, and, you know, have a favorite amongst them. That being said, they'll be able to remember who some people are just by showing them an image of said character. They might not know them by name, and then just be able to tell you who it is, but if they see an image, oh, they'll be able to point that character out. Someone saying that the X-Men are being forgotten is like someone saying AIDS is being forgotten.
Wow.
It's not being forgotten.
Damn.
It's never going to be forgotten. It's always going to be there, and it will always be there to stay. You dumbass motherfucker. How dare you rip on one of the most iconic groups of characters known to man?
This is true.
You were just retarded. Absolutely retarded. You should just go to Africa, and you can just die in a multitude of ways. Just the worst multitude of ways.
Damn. The fact that you said that at a normal tone, shocking. Because I fucking couldn't. That was just, I can't find the right emoji for it, but I'll do the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
What is Discord Nitro? Actually, not the point in time. Alright. And now me, because I will fucking take up too much damn time if I don't get this just right. Capcom, I am well aware that when you have someone working public relations, you don't always hire someone whose job is simply public relations. Sometimes you just go get somebody who's already in the office because you like saving money, you cheap motherfucker. 2, don't get people who can't fucking talk or who can't lie for you, because when you do, you end up in situations where they make shit worse for you. Case in point, well, forgotten about fucking X-Men. 3, I bet you wouldn't say that shit about fucking Spider-Man. By the way, every single Spider-Man show that's come out from Disney has had or featured somebody who wasn't from the Spider-Man universe. They even had fucking Nick Fury. Nick Fury, who's in like everything. Nick Fury, who I would actually love to fucking see in the fighting game, because I don't think he's ever been one, and he's one of the most important characters in all of Marveldom as far as their stories go. Even when he's not involved, that motherfucker's somehow involved. They will write ways for him to be involved. But that's getting off topic. Back on the ass raping. I'm sorry. Anal destruction. Which brings me into my next part. The person who said this is not versed in the ways of public relations. They are simply a shill, and I hate using that word because so many people get called a shill just because they have a difference of opinion against the most popular opinion in a fan base. But no, this is a true fucking shill. This shit is coming out of the mouths of someone who doesn't understand the concept of we at Capcom do not or decline to comment on rumors and hearsay. That's all you had to say. Not to mention part number 4. You motherfuckers can't keep anybody from snitching about anything you fucking do. And I do mean that. We just had a roster confirmation or DLC roster confirmation showing you're trying to work out a fucking deal with Fox to either get some X-Men or some fantastic characters in, who just happen to number at 4. So for you to sit up here and try this shit, we already know you're fucking lying. We already know you are fucking lying. Also, let me just say, did I fucking mention that if they weren't important and you didn't think they were important to the modern fan, why did you spend 4 months trying to get Storm in the last goddamn game? And, well, for one thing, even admit to it. And when you found out you couldn't get fucking Johnny Storm, what did you do? You went and got the goddamn Phoenix. Obviously, you give a fuck about mutants. And you know we give a fuck about mutants. This is not House of M. You are not Scarlet Witch. You ain't just gonna say no more mutants and act like that's the end of it. What type of bullshit is this? You gonna sit up here after, hey, you know what? We're gonna play the history game. Hey, Pika, do me a favor. Look up when X-Men vs. Street Fighter came up, the actual release date. You gonna sit up here
1 second
and pull up and say that no one remembers these characters, even though you put more effort and money of your own into doing shit with these characters than you have in any other fucking crossover. Let me run you through a typical Capcom crossover, and I'm not saying it stereotypically, I'm being serious. You ask them for permission, you give them a general guideline of what you're gonna do, you show them what the game looks like or the character's gonna look like in game, and they say yes or no. That's how little they're involved. But for X-Men versus Street Fighter and Marvel, just drop it in the chat. You went and had a toy line made where you fused your characters with their characters and sold them in a combined package. You allowed somebody to do this. Those toys in mint condition fucking can go for as much as 40 to 50 bucks or hundreds. Because one, we know we weren't gonna get them again once they happen. So you're telling me from 1996 onwards, the Avengers have been the most important or most viewed Marvel characters? The ones that have been put in the forefront the most? Fuck no. They're only where they are right now, not because of the success of the Iron Man movie, but because Marvel can't get their mutants back. That's why. And because of petty upper management bullshit. You know they're important. You know Spider-Man is important. You know Venom is important. And yet here you are, constantly just fucking around and pissing on people's faces because you couldn't hire a good PR person who couldn't say to our faces, we don't comment on anything, we want everything to be a surprise, and go behind our backs on NeoGAF or go behind your back on NeoGAF like everyone else fucking does. And say, yeah, we're trying to get them, but you know, they want to be a dick about it, or they want to make us pay an exorbitant fee, so we have to charge too much for the fucking DLC, and we're not sure if somebody's going to do it. Let us, you know, if they're still going to want to buy it. What's the point of getting one Marvel character from the mutant side if they cost half the game's value? You could have said anything like that, but that's not what's happening. And then on top of it off, we have Disney interference, because Disney, for all intents and purposes, no matter how much they think or want people who are quote-unquote loyal to work for them, the bigwigs at the top only care about a fucking bottom line. So if the bigwigs at the top only care about a fucking bottom line, they will do things that could fuck up the game, and of course Capcom is just gonna sit there and take it in the ass like I'm giving them this ass whooping. Even though they could open their mouths. Hey, we have an experience with fucking up and only making recent characters popular in our games, and we know that's a bad idea. So listen to us when we tell you what you're doing is not going to maximize any type of profit. Little kids aren't the one who's buying this shit. Let's just do a recap real quick. X-Men vs. Street Fighter came out in Japan in September of 1996. It also got released later the year worldwide in 1996. Now let's do a little bit of math. It is currently 2018 in the year of SJW bullshit. So let me ask you something. Let's subtract 2018 from 1996.
17.
Sorry. Yeah. Let's subtract that. That means that if you grew up or you were born in this time, right now, you would just be old enough to fucking drink. Hey, Hill, when were you born?
95.
Exactly. Now let me ask you something. Being actually cognitive by the time the X-Men or the mutant boom was in full effect, what do you think you remember most or you saw most growing up? Avenger characters? Other Marvel characters besides Spider-Man?
The first 3 X-Men movies that were produced. Specifically 1 and 3.
Yeah. And even if you didn't play the games, the fact that you knew they were in a fucking game will make you want to play that game more, didn't it?
Yeah.
And did you know that most of the fucking X-Men games that came out, even in the 2D era, were made by Capcom, even if they weren't a fighting game?
I didn't know Capcom was a thing, but I knew of their games, yeah.
So let me ask you something. When you expect a title like Marvel versus fucking Capcom, in your youthfulness, because remember, you're only one age off from the to be the quote-unquote modern fan. When you pick up that game, are you expecting to not see any mutants?
No, I'm expecting to see a fuck ton, especially Gambit. I've been playing that nigga ever since Marvel vs. Capcom 2 when I played in a movie theater.
Exactly. So for you to just not be able to function enough to say a simple answer or simple lie and be that high up on the food chain, how am I supposed to review or trust anything that comes out your mouth? Not to mention, let's be honest, if you are trying to target this game towards kids, they have parents who like Marvel, don't they? And if you like Marvel, you can't go like 5 feet away from hitting a fucking X-Men or a mutant in general. You think I'm gonna give money to any company after I find out ain't no mutants in it? I'm not just gonna let my kid play, but daddy, I want this. I don't give a shit. I'm the one paying for it. And if they don't see a character they like or recognize, how do I know I'm not wasting my 60 goddamn dollars? Not to mention DLC pass, stupid ass shit. You basically have guaranteed future fans might not touch this game if you don't unfuck yourself. And you guaranteed that parents who buy this shit, who are fans of Marvel or who are fans of both you and both fans of Capcom and Marvel, are just gonna feel the same way I do. Like, how can I respect or trust you when you go out of your way to fuck with my money once I give it to you? You fucked up with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 so bad you had to make a remake the same goddamn year. You fucked up with Capcom versus Tekken so bad that once you fixed it all, there was no recovering. Then you tried to hide everything behind on the fucking disc with DLC like we didn't fucking know it was already there. Even though you knew people on the internet go through your fucking data. And yet here you are continuously making piss poor decisions. So realistically, I don't know what to do with you, Capcom. You're not the only fighting game in the world. Most of your key staff who've done iconic, legendary, and prolific things are not at the company. I'm not joking. Let me go down the list. The creator of Street Fighter, the actual series, he hasn't worked at the company damn near in 22 to 24 years. And Street Fighter is how old? 25, 26 years? Yeah. Basically, he left at the start of Street Fighter 2. Shinji Mikami, the creator of fucking Resident Evil, gone. The creator of Devil May Cry, gone. The creator of Okami, gone. God Hand, gone. Beautiful Joe, gone. Mega Man, gone. Who do you have left? Who do you have left that's in-house? Fucking Ryo Nitsuma. The guy who made Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. The guy who's made Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and you still fucked him over. Because if you look at the interview about the shit he wanted to put in, he's basically trying to do that now. Multiple gameplay modes, an AI self-learning mode, fucking story mode, all that shit. He wanted to do that back then. Not to mention it looked better on 3, even though the shit didn't even get used. And now here you are, pissing him off and pissing in his face. How long until he walks out that door, you son of a bitch? How long until he walks out that goddamn door? But yeah, that's how I feel. It feels good to get all that off my chest. It really does. I keep telling people I don't make this podcast for attention. No shit like that. I make it because I feel like I can find people who can talk about me or have difference of opinions, and because I want to get shit off my chest. And that felt good. Alright, well, with that being said, Heel, you already went, right?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna calm my ass down. You go ahead and let us know how you feel.
How fucking dare you? Just assume I forgot my animated series I watched every Friday. You piece of shit. My shit right next to Gargoyles every Friday.
Fucking, oh man, I miss Gargoyles.
Watch the X-Men series. Not only that, even though the movie quality was questionable compared to now, the old X-Men movies were interesting to watch too. So I have a general idea of who X-Men characters are. Not only to add to that, my mom, newest husband, is a comic fanatic, so he could easily clarify, and he does, what happens where in the trilogy as to the movies that we just watched. So telling me I don't know X-Men is bullshit. And then, again, not coming out trying to say Disney having bullshit ass prices so we can't give you X-Men characters.
Fox.
Fox. Bullshit ass prices for X-Men so we can't give you X-Men characters right now. I'm sorry. Would have been an easier answer than saying we just up and forgot the 20 years and the many movies we have produced of these characters, not to include X-Men the Animated Series, X-Men Evolution, and Wolverine the X-Men. Each of those I have seen throughout my life for the many changing eras of children. Not to mention, we've had a lot of X-Men movies throughout history. Good or bad, they were X-Men movies that you produced. Not to mention X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Whichever X-Men game where Magneto said, "Welcome to..."
Yeah, that one's older than you. Oh, but you don't remember it.
Not at all. The many X-Men games we've had for our PS2. The slight cameos of X-Men in the Deadpool game. And other video game franchises that have X-Men in them. You cannot just say they are forgotten items. Yes, the Avengers have blown out the box office with
Garbage. Just call it what it is. All that shit's pretty much garbage except for Logan and Deadpool. Oh yeah, did I mention he's a fucking mutant?
But now we're just gonna forget. Just forget. Gonna forget? No. No one's gonna forget. Especially if it's like the staple for people who love playing as X-Men characters.
Did he just cut out?
No, I stopped talking.
Oh. Don't be afraid to get your volume up, because you already sound a little bit low. Just saying.
We should be at max, but I'm good with what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying,
No, I mean, I understand you. I get you.
assuming that people around my age just forgot something as memorable as the X-Men is bullshit.
Okay. Well, Pika, you got any closing statements?
If you ever think about playing Overwatch on another console when you've just been playing on one, don't. You'll quickly remind yourself the absolute hell of noob-ass motherfuckers in quick play matches, which you have to grind out until you get to level 25. It'll give you
Widowmaker on attack.
just Hanzo on attack. Fuck him. Jesus Christ. Just don't. Get behind the shield. I have a thing that doesn't kill you. It helps you stay alive longer. Don't run around it. What are you doing? There's no one to back me up. They're all targeting me now. Oh look, we just lost.
Damn. Well, do you play with the mic at all?
Yes, and people don't listen.
Well, yeah, I imagine that that can feel very, very dickish.
Man blocks 30,000 damage, but the diva wants the 5 1-ups because she got 10,000 damage with her ult and killed maybe 2 people.
Look at you.
Fucking bitch, you don't deserve shit.
I don't know. It's the way you said that. Just care off a fucking bitch. You don't deserve shit. Oh fuck. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just the way you said it. I don't play Overwatch because I saw that shit coming. I knew when it came out. Oh shit. This is going to be the second coming of GoldenEye. And from what I'm hearing, I'm pretty much right. It's the second coming of GoldenEye. So I'm not gonna touch that one. Now, if they put on an offline story mode, which they honestly know they can, they just don't want to because there's not as much money in it. We all know that they can do it. All right, Hill, any closing statements?
I didn't know I was gonna play StarCraft Horde mode for the EQ today.
Dude, this is only the beginning. There's a total of 20 EQs. 20. Motherfucker, this chick looks like A2 from Nier Automata and PSO. I'm not even joking. She's got the sword and the clothing on. Oh, we're going to be friends. Yes, we are. Well, as far as me and closing statements, hey, Capcom, and I don't say this very often, we know it's not your fault. I understand what the problem is, but you need to keep your American staff dumbasses in check. Because it's starting to make the situation worse. For all we know, you are going to get X-Men, but it's taking too long to balance them, so they're not going to be in the final product, and we have to get them as DLC. We already knew going in, we were going to have to get characters as DLC based on how long it takes to get shit done sometimes. I feel your pain, and this will probably be the only time I ever feel your pain. With that being said, that ends another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm probably going to put up some Final Fantasy 15 DLC footage for this shit. And I'm probably going to play Fuck You in the background from CeeLo Green because I think it suits this whole thing. But if you guys have any other music suggestions, feel free to let me know and I'll put it in the background. I'm starting to do that now.